Tsallas should have been arrested and charged back years ago. So I have made several comments to police since 2015. They've come back to me and said, and I've actually made several comments about several people who started harassing me after 2015. Mark Henner, Peter Fry, I don't know Peter Fry at all. He actually approached me in 2016 when I was walking Baxter, my dog, around Rushcutters Bay Park, Reg Oval side, and he came straight up to me and he said he was a friend of Brett Aikenhead's, the guy I brought my dog from. That's what he said, and started basically harassing me in the area I lived. So I don't know Brett Aikenhead. I met him in April 2015. I brought my dog from him. And Brett Aikenhead doesn't know me. I don't know Peter Fry at all. He was, basically told to fuck off. Several times he kept coming over to my place and hanging around. He's like, I'm a good friend of Brett Aikenhead's. Like the guy that I brought my dog from. It's like, so I'm getting harassed by that guy too. All this happened after 2015. Stephanie Tsallas jumped on the social media and started all this trouble. Stephanie Tsallas has delusional fantasies about me, and this has been since she met me, and has stalked myself. And actually, my ex-partner, John Cabino, in 2005, she showed up at his restaurant. I don't know if John would remember. He should. And John doesn't have to have my back for anything. I mean, John hates my guts since I dumped him, basically. It's like, okay, fine, because I dumped all my boyfriends, so they've got issues. And that's the thing. I have dumped every single guy I've gone out with. I've never been dumped, and I don't really care for relationships. So because of that, everyone's got these issues. It's like, I dumped you, get over it. So anyway, back in 2005, Stephanie Tsallas showed up at John's restaurant, Cabana's Restaurante in Mossman, and caused a scene. And John's like, can you get rid of her? And she's like, this fucking drug-fucked loser. She's a junkie. Oh, my brother's up here. I'm here with my brother. She's a weirdo. So I met Stephanie Tsallas for the first time at the Californian Cafe on Oxford Street in late 2004. I was getting a coffee. And then she proceeded to stalk and harass me. And I thought it was funny. I did. At first, I was like, going, oh, she's a crazy fag hag. I was like, God, she just show up. I'm like, oh my God, that lady, I wouldn't call her a lady now, who I've met at the coffee shop. I said, oh my God. And John's there going, she's got delusional fantasies about you, Justin. She's running around telling people she knows you and that you're friends. Like, you've only just met her. Like, seriously, this is exactly how it happened. And that he's a cowboy. Oh, he's from a farm. And John's like, you're not from a farm. I'm like, I never said I was from a farm. He said I was from a farm. I said I've owned horses. And I've got horses. We own horses in Sydney. And then I was being a smart ass because Stephanie Tsallas doesn't know anything about me. I'm like, oh, that's right, Stephanie. I milked cows growing up. I have no idea about anything to do with farming. I never did. We owned a horse stud in Rooty Hill in Dunsmore Street. We had horses, that's right. We've had thoroughbred hacks. There's racing right through my family, and they're all from Sydney. Whether it's my grandfather, Reginald George Purdy, or his wife, Lola, his father-in-law, Arthur Keegan. There's racing right through the family. Pacers, trotters, gallopers, dogs, pigeons. And then with the horses, the equestrian riding, I always did nationals and royals. But even in Sydney, it's like, not farming. We're not farmers. She goes, he's, and then so then instantly I met Stephanie, right? So in 2005, she's like, I'm writing a book on how Sydney destroyed this gorgeous guy from the country's farmer. And she's like, it's insane crap. And John's like, she's insane. She doesn't know. She's there going that you're born and raised in the country and how the damaging effects of Sydney's took over you. And I'm like, Stephanie, I'm from Sydney. My family's from Sydney. My grandparents are all from the inner city. My mum's born in Darlinghurst. I'm from Sydney. And she's like, no, how Sydney's just destroyed you. And it's like, wow, literally, this is only about the third time I'd ever met this Stephanie in my life. And John's there going, she's got delusional fantasies about you, Justin. Like, stay away from her. She's bad news. And I'm laughing about it. And John's there going, no, don't laugh. Don't laugh about it. She's insane. She has delusional fantasies about you. She's stalking you. She's insane. Okay. John Cabino said this. Stephanie Tsallas is fucking insane. Should be locked up. We've never been friends. Ever. Never, ever have I been friends with Stephanie Tsallas. Ever. She's absolutely insane. Now, by July 2005, after listening to my partner, I just avoided going to the California Cafe for a coffee, so I wouldn't run into her because some things didn't add up with her. So remember, I just met her in late 2004. By July 2005, so we're talking 6 months, I started to avoid her. Then it was around the week of my sister's wedding. I'm out in Darlinghurst with my partner John, and she plonks her fucking fat ass down and starts his trouble. And I'm doing what I always do. I was just laughing it off, let things go and laugh about it. And John got really pissed off with me. We had a massive big argument about it. And it was about a day before my sister's wedding. He goes, "Okay, that's it. I'm not going to your sister's wedding. If you think there's nothing wrong with Stephanie," because I was there going, "John, you're overreacting. I'm sure she's harmless." And John's like, "No, she's not harmless, Justin. She's insane. Stephanie Tsallas is fucking insane." And I'm there going to John, "Oh, look, I thought John Cabina was overreacting." So, and he got the shits and goes, "I'm not going to your sister's wedding. If you think there's nothing wrong with her, take her to your sister's wedding then and see what Nan says." So I did. Holy fucking hell. Okay, John was right. She's insane. Stephanie Tsallas is absolutely insane. So in 2006, she was on the way back. I was freaking out. She was begging me to be straight and go out with her. She was begging. She was crying. She goes, and I'm like, oh my God. She was a complete stranger at Amanda's wedding. She was a complete stranger then. I was freaking out. I said, "Don't ever come near me again." I literally am almost mortified now. I can feel the hair on the back of my neck sticking up remembering this. She's a nut job. Stephanie Tsallas is absolutely insane. So nothing to do with her since 2006. There was a time in 2008 after I left John where she shut up at my front door with the same behaviour again, was told to fuck off. Then in 2015, I find out she hasn't stopped stalking me. She'd been stalking my social media and she stalked every single person that she'd seen photos with me. She actually kept in touch with family members of mine saying that we're good friends. And my family wouldn't know who's my friend and who isn't. And that's the thing. Like, they would not know who's a friend or not. They were like, "Oh, that's right. Didn't you go to Amanda's wedding?" "Oh, yes. I'm a good friend of Justin's." No, she's not a good friend. She's insane. She's a nut job. She stalked me. She's an absolute fucking nut job. And I find out in 2015 she was still doing this. We had so she contacted me about some Facebook post with Brett Aikenhead, where he was saying stuff about me that wasn't true. And Stephanie contacts me. She goes, "Oh, grew up with some friend of Brett Aikenhead's, Spiro, and I'm defending Brett and Spiro." I'm like, "I don't care. You're a fucking psycho stalker." And she was in Melbourne. Next minute, I find out she's living in Sydney and she's stalking me. I call the police and they're like, "But she's a friend of yours." I'm like, "No, she's not a friend of mine." I'm like, I wouldn't. I'm like, what? You're going to start classifying Facebook friends or people that stalk Facebook or following Facebook and social media as friends? I'm telling you, she's not a friend of mine. Here's the background. Here's the timeline. They didn't do anything. They didn't charge her. She should have been charged. Everybody was told, "Don't contact Stephanie Tsallas back. We're not friends. She's insane. She's been stalking me for years. She's an absolute insane nut job."